All right, so are you ready to ditch that planning a trip to Germany is overwhelming feeling
I know that feeling.
for like a big dose of I've got this, because we are diving deep into your Germany source material.
Let's do it.
You've got a great trip shaping up.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what we find. Um, a Germany deep dive always uncovers such a fascinating mix.
Mm-hmm.
Like the iconic and the unexpected.
Yeah. And you know what's great about this is we've got this YouTube video titled Wonders of Germany.
The most amazing places in Germany.
Savile video 4K. And it's on the top travel channel. So
Okay.
right away we know
Sounds promising.
it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's aiming to capture like the must-sees for anyone planning a trip to Germany.
For sure.
And you know what grabs people right away? Fun facts.
Oh, absolutely. They're like those little appetizers that just like whet your appetite for the main course.
Yes, exactly. And this video does not disappoint.
Okay, good.
Now, okay, so for instance, did you know that Berlin has more museums than rainy days?
Really?
I mean, talk about a win-win for travelers.
That's incredible.
Right.
Yeah, it really speaks to the city's just incredible cultural depth. But speaking of appealing to a variety of interests, I was pretty amused by the gummy bear fact.
Oh, yeah.
It seems almost too perfect that gummy bears originated in Germany.
Hold on, I need to make sure I've got this right.
Yeah.
Gummy bears, as in Haribo gummy bears. Tell me more.
So the video reminded me that the Harry in Haribo actually stands for Hans Riegel,
Huh.
who founded the company in Bonn back in 1920.
Oh, wow.
It's those little details that often stick with you.
They really do. Okay, one more fun fact from this video before we really, map out this German adventure. Buckle up. Certain stretches of the Autobahn have no speed limit.
No speed limit.
None whatsoever.
Wow.
Go as fast as your car can take you.
Now that's a thrilling tidbit for those who like to put the pedal to the metal. And it kind of speaks to, I think, a certain aspect of German engineering and their approach to personal freedom on the road, at least in those designated areas.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so from high-speed highways to castles that look like they're straight out of fairy tales.
Yeah.
This video takes us on a journey to some iconic landmarks.
Yep.
And of course, no German castle exploration is complete without a visit to Neuschwanstein.
Neuschwanstein. The quintessential fairy tale castle, perched high in the Bavarian Alps. The video does such a good job at capturing its majestic beauty, and I particularly appreciated the mention of King Ludwig II's just fascination with Richard Wagner.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that the castle's interior design incorporates these themes from Wagner's operas
Wow.
adds a whole other layer to its story.
Yeah, it's like stepping into a real-life opera set.
Exactly.
But while Neuschwanstein tends to steal the show, the video reminds us that the Bavarian Alps offer so much more.
For sure.
For those who want to venture beyond the castle walls.
Indeed. The Zugspitze, Germany's highest peak, beckons hikers and skiers alike. But what caught my eye was the mention of Garmisch-Partenkirchen,
Okay.
a charming town nestled at the foot of the mountains.
I love that.
It's a great reminder that sometimes the most memorable experiences happen when you base yourself in a place that lets you just soak in the local atmosphere.
It's like finding that hidden gem of a restaurant tucked away on a quiet side street.
Exactly.
Speaking of hidden gems, our next stop takes us back in time to Rothenburg ob der Tauber, a meticulously preserved medieval town.
I always find it fascinating how these well-preserved towns offer such a tangible connection to the past.
Yeah.
In Rothenburg, you're not just imagining what life was like centuries ago. You're experiencing it
Wow.
as you walk those cobblestone streets and gaze up at the half-timbered houses.
And let's not forget those Instagram-worthy shots of Plumline, that picturesque corner where the streets converge.
It's very popular.
But beyond the charm, there's a story there. A history that deserves to be explored.
For sure.
And that's what's so great about a deep dive like this. It's not just about ticking off boxes on a list. It's about uncovering the layers beneath the surface.
Precisely. And as we move from the heart of Bavaria to the winding Rhine Valley, those layers continue to unfold. The video highlights the region's stunning scenery, castles perched on hillsides, vineyards, stretching as far as the eye can see, and of course the iconic Rhine River itself.
Beautiful.
But then it throws in this intriguing detail about Lorelei Rock and the legend of the siren who lured sailors to their doom.
See, that's the stuff that makes travel so captivating.
Right.
Those legends and tales that add a touch of mystery and intrigue.
Absolutely.
And speaking of captivating journeys, the video also highlights the romantic road,
Okay.
a route that seems tailor-made for those seeking picturesque drives in charming towns.
It's interesting how the very concept of a romantic road caps into our desire to I think, romanticize travel itself.
Yeah.
We crave those idyllic routes, those moments where the journey becomes as memorable as the destination.
It's like we're hardwired to seek out beauty and adventure.
I think so.
But while castles and fairy tale towns are undeniably enchanting,
Yeah.
this video also piques our curiosity about some of Germany's lesser-known treasures.
Yes, adventures beyond the beaten path, reminding us that there's always more to discover.
Yes.
For instance, Lake Constance,
Okay.
shared by Germany, Austria, and Switzerland.
Oh, wow.
Each country brings its own flavor to the lake, creating this fascinating blends of cultures and landscapes.
3 countries, 1 lake. Talk about maximizing your travel experience. And the video mentions Maino, the flower island. I have a feeling that one might appeal to the photographer in you.
Indeed. And for those who appreciate a more contemplative experience, the video highlights Heidelberg, a university town with a more laid-back vibe. While Heidelberg Castle is undeniably impressive, it was the mention of the Philosopher's Walk that caught my attention.
The Philosopher's Walk. Tell me more about that. I'm already picturing myself strolling along a scenic path deep in thought.
Imagine this, a path winding along the slopes overlooking Heidelberg and the Neckar River. It's said that philosophers and professors once frequented this path, finding inspiration in the surrounding beauty.
Wow.
Today, it's a beloved spot for leisurely walks and breathtaking views.
It sounds like the perfect place to escape the hustle and bustle and just soak in the atmosphere.
It is.
But from tranquil walks, we're transported to a city that embodies resilience. Dresden. Devastated during World War II, Dresden has risen from the ashes, painstakingly rebuilt to reflect its former glory.
Dresden's story is a poignant reminder of the cyclical nature of history, destruction and rebuilding, loss and renewal. These are themes that often emerge when we travel, prompting us to reflect on the past while appreciating the present.
It's a powerful reminder that even in the face of adversity, beauty can reemerge.
It can.
And speaking of captivating cities, our deep dive continues with an exploration of Germany's vibrant urban centers.
Okay.
Each one seems to pulse with its own unique energy.
They do, and the video does a nice job of highlighting the distinct personality of each city. Shall we start with Munich, the capital of Bavaria? We've already touched on beer gardens and Oktoberfest, but there's so much more to this city than meets the eye.
Oh, absolutely. Beyond the steins and pretzels, Munich boasts the English Garden, one of the largest urban parks in the world.
Wow.
Imagine that, a sprawling green oasis right in the heart of the city.
That's incredible. And for those who appreciate fine engineering, the BMW Museum provides a fascinating glimpse into the history of this iconic German brand. Perhaps a fitting way to round out a high-speed adventure on the Autobahn, wouldn't you say?
I love how you connected that back to our fun fact from earlier. All right, next stop. Berlin, a city where history isn't just something you read about in textbooks. It's something you feel in every cobblestone and every preserved section of the Berlin Wall.
The video rightfully highlights iconic landmarks, like the Brandenburg Gate, a symbol of German reunification. But it's the mention of the East Side Gallery that I found particularly poignant. Imagine sections of the Berlin Wall, once a symbol of division, transformed into a vibrant canvas for artists from around the world.
Wow.
It's a powerful testament to the city's ability to heal, reinvent, and inspire.
It gives me chills just thinking about it. Okay, from Berlin's historical weight, we're whisked away to a city known for its soaring architecture, Cologne.
And when they say soaring, they mean it. The Cologne Cathedral, with its twin spires dominating the skyline, is a masterpiece of Gothic architecture. The video mentions it's one of the largest cathedrals in the world, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that draws visitors from every corner of the globe.
Can you imagine standing in the shadow of that cathedral? Talk about feeling small. But Cologne isn't just about looking up. The video also highlights the Hohenzollern Bridge, a spot that's become famous for its love locks.
It's a charming tradition, though. I imagine the sheer volume of locks must pose quite the logistical challenge for the bridge's caretakers.
Maybe that's part of what makes it so fascinating. From grand cathedrals and love-locked bridges, our virtual tour takes us to Hamburg, a city where history and modernity seem to coexist effortlessly.
Hamburg's identity is deeply intertwined with its port, one of the busiest in Europe. The video suggests a harbor tour to fully grasp the scale and energy of this maritime hub.
I'm already imagining the scent of salt air and the sound of ship horns, but Hamburg also holds a surprise miniature wonderland billed as the world's largest model railway exhibition.
It may sound a bit niche, but the sheer detail and craftsmanship of these miniature landscapes and cities is astounding. It appeals to that childlike sense of wonder we all carry within us.
It reminds me of those intricate snow globes where you can shake them up and watch a whole world come to life. Okay, from miniature worlds to grand concert halls, our journey takes us to Leipzig, a city renowned for its music and trade history.
Leipzig holds a special place in music history as the city where Johann Sebastian Bach lived and worked. The video highlights St. Thomas Church, where Bach served as a cantor and where he's buried.
For classical music lovers, that's got to be a pilgrimage-worthy destination. And speaking of music, the video also mentions the Gewandhaus, a world-renowned concert hall that's home to the Leipzig Gewandhaus Orchestra. Leipzig is clearly a city that resonates with the echoes of musical giants.
It's remarkable how these cities have been centers of learning culture and artistry for centuries. Their legacy continues to inspire and draw visitors from all walks of life.
Speaking of legacies, our next stop takes us to Frankfurt, a city that embodies both Germany's economic prowess and its rich history.
Frankfurt often gets labeled as just another financial hub, but the video does a nice job of showcasing its multifaceted personality.
It does. We get those glimpses of the modern skyline home to skyscrapers and the European Central Bank, but then we're transported back in time with the mention of the Romer, a medieval building that served as Frankfurt City Hall for over 6 centuries.
It's a wonderful juxtaposition, a tangible reminder that beneath the sleek facade of a modern metropolis lies a heart steeped in history and tradition.
And what better way to connect with a city's heart than through its cuisine? The video doesn't disappoint mentioning those iconic Frankfurter sausages naturally, but also apple wine and something called green sauce.
Grünsauce, as it's known in German, is a Frankfurt specialty made with herbs, oil, and vinegar. Traditionally, it's served with boiled eggs and potatoes.
You've piqued my curiosity. That's definitely going on my must-try list.
Okay.
We've covered castles, mountains, charming towns, and bustling cities. This YouTube video has given us a fantastic taste of what Germany has to offer.
It's a great starting point for planning a trip, but I think what's been most striking throughout this deep dive is how much there is to discover beyond those typical tourist routes.
That's the beauty of travel, isn't it? There's always something new to uncover, a hidden gem waiting to be found. But before we wrap up our German adventure, there's one more city the video mentions, and I have a feeling you're going to appreciate this one.
Oh, I'm intrigued. What city is that?
Get ready for this. It's Bremen. Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground already, and Bremen, well, it wasn't on our initial radar either, but this video gives it a little shout out, and that makes me think there's more to it than meets the eye. What do you think?
It's true that Bremen often gets overshadowed by, its larger, more internationally recognized German siblings. However, that doesn't mean it's lacking in captivating experiences and a rich history all its own.
Okay, you've definitely piqued my interest.
Huh.
For someone adding Bremen to their itinerary, what are some things they shouldn't miss?
Well, to start, Bremen shares a common thread with a few other cities we've discussed. It's a port city, situated on the Weser River. Much like Hamburg, its identity is deeply intertwined with that maritime heritage. So if you're drawn to that energy of a bustling harbor, the scent of salt air, and the tales that seafaring life brings, Bremen might be right up your alley.
I'm always up for experiencing a city's personality, and it sounds like Bremen has that in spades. But what about those seeking historical landmarks? Anything in Bremen that rivals those grand castles or cathedrals we've talked about?
While it might not have those imposing structures perched on mountaintops, Bremen boasts a beautifully preserved medieval center. Picture this: cobbled streets winding through the heart of the city, lined with gabled houses and a marketplace that's been a hub of activity for centuries. It's a place where you can practically feel the weight of history beneath your feet.
Oh, I do love a good historical marketplace. It's fascinating to imagine the generations who've walked those same paths. But for someone looking for those must-see landmarks, what does Bremen have to offer?
Bremen has a rather unique claim to fame. It's home to a statue dedicated to the Brothers Grimm fairy tale. The town musicians of Bremen, the donkey, the dog, the cat, and the rooster, all standing on each other's back.
Wait, really? There's an actual statue commemorating that whimsical tale? For a city that often gets overlooked, that's incredibly endearing.
It's become quite the popular attraction, and rightly so. It speaks to Bremen's ability to embrace its playful side, a city that understands the enduring power of storytelling and folklore.
As you were describing that statue, it struck me that sometimes it's those unexpected, whimsical attractions that end up being the most memorable parts of a trip. It's like stumbling upon a hidden treasure when you least expect it.
Precisely. And that's the magic of a deep dive like this. We've explored the iconic, the unexpected, and everything in between. We've journeyed from the towering heights of the Bavarian Alps to the charming streets of a medieval town, even delved into miniature worlds and uncovered the stories behind those little gummy bears we often take for granted.
We've covered a lot of ground, And now, armed with this newfound knowledge, our listener is equipped to craft their own German adventure. An adventure that aligns perfectly with their interests, whether they're drawn to grand castles, serene lakes, bustling city life, or perhaps even a whimsical statue dedicated to a band of unlikely animal friends.
So as you finalize those travel plans, remember that Germany holds a wealth of experiences waiting to be discovered. Embrace that spirit of exploration, dare to veer off the beaten path, and who knows what hidden gems you'll uncover along the way.
What a fantastic journey this deep dive has been. We've laughed, we've learned, and we've been utterly captivated by the wonders of Germany. Until next time, happy travels.